In the realm of Greek mythology, one story emerges from the shadows, a tale of heroism and monstrous beauty. This is the myth of Perseus and Medusa, a saga that has captivated hearts and minds for centuries. Our journey begins with the birth of Perseus, son of Danae and Zeus, the king of the gods. His existence was surrounded by prophecies and fate. Danae's father, Acrisius, was the king of Argos, and he bore the burden of a haunting prophecy. The oracle foretold that Acrisius would meet his end at the hands of his own flesh and blood, his grandson Perseus. Desperate to escape this grim future, Acrisius hatched a plan. He resolved to prevent the prophecy from unfolding by locking Danae and her newborn son, Perseus, inside a chest, and then casting it into the unforgiving sea. But destiny had other plans for Perseus. He and his mother were rescued by Dictys, a kind-hearted fisherman who lived on the peaceful island of Seriphos and who raised the young hero as his own. However, their newfound haven did not shield them from the ambitions of Polydectes, the ruler of Seriphos. He set his sights on marrying Danae, a desire she fervently rejected. In a bid to protect his mother from the relentless pursuit of Polydectes, Perseus made a solemn promise. He swore that he would do anything to shield Danae from the ruler's advances. Polydectes, cunning and manipulative, sensed an opportunity. He proposed a challenge to young Perseus. To prove his devotion, Polydectes demanded the head of the Gorgon Medusa, a monstrous task he believed would be a death sentence. With no choice but to fulfill his pledge, Perseus accepted the perilous quest. As Perseus set forth on his perilous quest to obtain the head of the Gorgon Medusa, he received the divine blessings and guidance of the gods. Zeus, the king of the gods, and Perseus's divine father, gifted his son an adamantine sword, a weapon of unparalleled strength and sharpness. Athena, the wise and strategic goddess, offered him a radiant shield, and she bestowed upon him a crucial piece of advice: to use the shield's polished surface as a reflective mirror. By doing so, he could avoid directly regarding Medusa, for her gaze turned all who met her eyes to stone. Athena, in her wisdom, further shared an essential piece of knowledge with Perseus. To fully equip himself for the battle against Medusa, he needed to seek out the Hesperides, the goddesses of the evening and the golden light of sunsets. To find the Hesperides, Perseus had to trick the enigmatic Graeae, three ancient sisters who shared a singular eye and tooth. These peculiar nymphs held a secret, knowledge of the whereabouts of the Hesperides, who guarded the weapons he needed. To learn this secret, Perseus employed his cunning and quick thinking. In a daring maneuver, Perseus seized the Graea's eye and tooth, refusing to return them, until they unveiled the path to the Hesperides. They reluctantly complied. With the Graea's guidance, Perseus journeyed on, eventually locating the Hesperides. They entrusted him with the gifts he sought: a knapsack called Kibisis to safely contain Medusa's head, Hades's helm of darkness to render himself invisible, and the winged sandals to grant him the gift of swift mobility. Perseus reached the lair of the Gorgons, where the sisters, including the fearsome Medusa, slept. Thanks to Hades's helm of darkness, he was rendered invisible, moving with stealth and cunning. His presence was masked from the Gorgons, allowing him to draw near unnoticed. As Perseus stood before the sleeping Medusa, he wielded his divine gifts, the polished shield, to avert his gaze and remain unpetrified, and the adamantine sword granted by his father Zeus. In a swift and decisive act, Perseus approached Medusa, avoiding her petrifying gaze, and he beheaded the monstrous Gorgos, her terrible form meeting its end. Perseus, careful not to gaze upon Medusa's severed head, retrieved it and placed it within his satchel. As Perseus fled, the remaining Gorgons awoke and pursued him. With his winged sandals, he managed to escape their wrath. As Perseus embarked on his journey back to Seriphos, His path led him to a kingdom shrouded in myth and peril, the kingdom of Ethiopia, ruled by King Cepheus and Queen Cassiopeia. The perilous events that unfolded were set in motion by Cassiopeia's own words. Cassiopeia's audacious claim that her daughter Andromeda rivaled the beauty of the Nereids reached the ears of Poseidon, the vengeful god of the sea. Enraged by this audacity and impiety, Poseidon unleashed his wrath upon the land and sent Cetus, a monstrous sea serpent, to wreak havoc upon the kingdom and its people. To appease the vengeful god and halt the destruction, the oracle delivered a dire proclamation. Peace would return only when King Cepheus sacrificed his daughter, the beautiful Andromeda, to the monstrous Cetus. She was bound, naked, to a desolate rock on the shore, awaiting a grim fate. As Perseus reached the rocky shores of Ethiopia, his gaze fell upon the captive Andromeda, her beauty captivating his very soul. The hero's heart swelled with determination, and he vowed to free her from her impending doom. Filled with resolve and courage, Perseus wielded the head of the Medusa, its deadly gaze turned towards the monstrous Cetus. The serpent, now immortalized in stone, brought relief to the land of Ethiopia and its people. In gratitude and admiration for the hero who had saved her from a dire fate, King Cepheus offered the hand of his beloved daughter Andromeda to Perseus in marriage. Together with her beautiful wife Andromeda, Perseus returned to Seriphos, only to discover that Polydectes had been tormenting his mother Danae during his absence. With Medusa's head in his satchel, Perseus confronted the treacherous ruler. In a swift and decisive act of retribution, Perseus revealed Medusa's head to Polydectes, who was instantly turned to stone. With his heroic journey complete, Perseus returned to Athena the magical loans he had received for his quest, the knapsack, the helm of darkness, and the winged sandals. He also gave Medusa's head as a votive gift to Athena, who set it on Zeus's shield. Perseus went back to Argos, and he made peace with his grandfather Acrisius, their troubled history finally laid to rest. However, on a fateful journey to Larissa, where athletic games were being held, destiny took an unexpected turn. In a tragic accident, Perseus hurled a quoit, striking Acrisius, the very man he sought to avoid, and inadvertently fulfilling the prophecy of his grandfather's demise. The legacy of Perseus and the tale of Medusa continue to inspire generations, reminding us of the power of bravery and cunning in the face of monstrous challenges. And so, the myth of Perseus and Medusa leaves an indelible mark in the annals of Greek mythology. It is a story of courage, divine intervention, and the triumph of good over evil. As we journey through this myth, may we too find strength to face our own monsters and challenges. Like, share, and subscribe for more mythological adventures. And until next time, let the legends of the past guide your path.